Most of us have ignored the power behind prayers. We have been facing a lot of challenges. Right now, there is that cloud that has been following people. Like, you find that you don't have peace every time shida zinakufuata, but we tend to ignore the power behind prayers. Let me give you an example. There is this man his name was Ezekiel. This is what happened to Ezekiel. Ezekiel one day became sick. Ezekiel became sick to an extent of death. Then God sent Isaiah, son of Amos, to him. God told Isaiah to go and tell Ezekiel that he was not going to survive, but he was going to die. So he was to put his house in order because he was going to die. Then after Ezekiel received Lord's message from the prophet, Ezekiel did not argue with the man of God. Ezekiel did not start crying. Ezekiel did not go to everybody stating his problem. Ezekiel did not give up. He did not lose hope. Ezekiel he was not broken. Like, despite him being a faithful man, Ezekiel was not shaken by anything. What did he do? Ezekiel turned to the wall of his house and wept bitterly and asked God. There is something that he told God. Lord, I have served you faithfully. There are several things that Ezekiel, after turning to the wall of his house, he told God. He told God the good things that he has been doing. He told God the way he has been faithful while serving him. And he was weeping bitterly. He was talking to his father, weeping bitterly. Oh God, you know the way I have been serving you. You know the way I have gone to an extent of doing this and this for the sake of you. Then after he prayed, you know, God is a very mysterious God. He added him 15 years, 15 good years. Praise the Lord. 15 good years. 15 good years. The power of prayer. So sometimes we find ourselves, we are in situations, we face situations, sometimes we tend to give up in life. But my brother and sister, you're listening to me, there is power in prayer. Trust God with your issues. God knows already whatever that you're going through. He's just waiting for that one word. Remember the story of blind Bartimaeus. Jesus is passing by, and then this man is like, what is happening? Because hakuwa anaona, alikuwa anasikia tu sauti like makelele za watu wanapita. Then this man is like, what is happening? Then this man was told that Jesus of Nazareth was passing by. Then he shouted, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. People tried to shut him down. People tried to bring him down. But he continued shouting, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. People tried to bring him down because at that time, those people like the lame, the blind were seen to be very low in the society. So they tended to bring him down, to shut him down. But he continued to call upon the name of the Lord. Then Jesus heard the shouts of this man. Then he told one of the members, like one of the crowd, he told them to bring him to him. Then Jesus asked this man, what do you want me to do for you? Then this man was like, I just want to see. I just want to see again. Praise the Lord. Then at that point, the blind Bartimaeus could see again. He was jumping. He was very happy because of what Jesus had done. What if this man continued keeping quiet when he was shut down by the crowd? So there are some situations that you really need to call God in prayer. If you'd like God to come to handle your situation, you have to call him. You have to call him in prayer. Like, you have to talk to God. You have to pray. Ezekiel turned to the wall of his house and wept bitterly, speaking to his father. And God heard his cry. God heard his cry and added him 15 more years, 15 good years, just because he turned to the wall. What if he did not? What if he just said, it's okay, let me just die because I'm old? But he knew in his heart, he was convinced that whenever I talk to God about my situation, he's going to listen to me. Whenever I present this request to my father, he is going to listen to me because I am a son. I am a son. So he ended up extending his faith through prayer. Remember, faith without action is dead. You cannot tell me that you are sick and you're not praying and you're believing that God is going to heal you. Yes, God says that God is the one who heals all the diseases. He's the Lord who forgives all the sins. But he cannot forgive you unless you ask for forgiveness. He cannot heal you unless you tell him that you want to be healed. Faith without action is dead. Even the paralyzed man, it took faith. When Jesus was in that under that roof, and that the roof was full of people, and there is this paralyzed man, the friends have brought him. They cannot enter the building because the hall is full, so they had to cut the roof of the building, and they brought him before Jesus. So it took faith. Faith without action is dead. It took faith for them to present that man before Jesus through the roof. Back to the story of Ezekiel. Ezekiel turned to the wall and told God the good things he had done, his actions, whatever he has been doing. And God added him 15 good years. Suppose you are in a situation and you want to turn to God to get you out of that situation. What are you going to tell God? Dear God, I have been serving you. What do you have to present before God? And yet you are that person when unakuja tu church, unatulia, uko tu, you're not participating in anything. What do you have to present before God? Dear God, I have been ushering. Dear God, I have been serving in the protocol team. Dear God, I have been cleaning your church. Dear God, I have been serving in praise and worship. What do you have to present before God? You want God to take you out of that situation, and the situation is worsening. What do you have to present? Suppose you're going to take Ezekiel as your role model. What are you going to tell God? Dear God, I have been doing this and this, so please take this situation away from me. Just heal my heart. What are you going to present before God? Praise the Lord. You have to have something to present before God. Suppose dunia imeisha leo, what do you have to present before God? What do you have to present before God? Before the heaven blesses you with something, before the heaven entrusts you with a ministry, how have you built yourself? Like, how prepared are you? What do you have? What do you have in you? Before telling God, I need that business. Do you know how to manage that business? What do you have inside you? Do you carry anything? Do not despise, do not despise, do not despise the power of prayer.